November 9th, 1998, Queens, New York. Security cameras capture a man at an ATM. He withdraws money, pockets the cash, walks away. Later that day, his rental car is found abandoned at John F. Kennedy International Airport. His name is John Ruffo. In a few hours, he's supposed to report to federal prison to begin serving 17 years for defrauding banks of over $350 million. He never shows up, and 27 years later, he is still missing. This is the story of the most successful con artist the FBI has ever failed to catch. Brooklyn, New York. November 26, 1954. John Ruffo is born. He grows up in Brooklyn, goes to college, earns a computer science degree. This is the 1970s. Computer science is brand new. Most people don't even know what it means. But John understands computers. More importantly, John understands business. He becomes president of Consolidated Computer Services, CCS, an IBM reseller based in New York City. The business is legitimate. Computer services, IT consulting, IBM equipment sales. But John has bigger plans, much bigger. Early 1990s, New York City. John partners with a man named Edward J. Rainers, a former Philip Morris executive with industry experience. Together, they devise something extraordinary. A fake research project called Project Star. The pitch: Philip Morris, one of the world's largest tobacco companies, is secretly developing smokeless cigarettes. Revolutionary technology, top secret, requires massive research and development. And CCS, John's company, has been selected to provide the computer systems, research equipment, and technical services for this classified project. There's just one problem. Philip Morris needs everything done quickly. Cutting-edge technology, specialized equipment, hundreds of millions in upfront costs. CCS doesn't have that kind of money. They need financing, bank loans to cover the equipment purchases until Philip Morris pays them back. John and Rainers create the documentation, forged contracts with Philip Morris letterhead, fake corporate seals, bogus confidentiality agreements. Everything looks legitimate, professional, convincing, and they're ready to pitch it to the banks. John and Rainers approach major US and international banks. They present Project Star, show the forged Philip Morris contracts, explain the supposed confidentiality requirements. The banks see a Fortune 500 company name, a legitimate technology contractor, professional documentation. Ruffo and Rainers claimed confidentiality restrictions to discourage direct verification, a claim banks accepted at face value. The banks trust the paperwork. First bank approves financing, then another, then another. Each bank thinks they're part of a consortium lending deal. Standard practice for large projects. Multiple banks share the risk, but the banks don't communicate with each other. In the early 1990s, there's no centralized database for cross-checking large loans. Each institution operates independently. John exploits this perfectly. Between the early 1990s and 1996, John Ruffo and Edward Rainers secure over $350 million in fraudulent loans from multiple US and foreign banks, all based on a research project that doesn't exist, for a company that never had them, using forged documents and fake corporate seals, one of the largest bank frauds in US history. For years, the scheme works. Banks release funds. John and Rainers move the money. Nobody questions it. Then, 1996, a bank executive notices something wrong. The documents don't look quite right. Small inconsistencies, questions that don't have answers. The executive makes a phone call, not to John, not to CCS, to Philip Morris directly. "We're financing your Project Star initiative. Can you confirm the details?" Philip Morris has no idea what they're talking about. No Project Star, no contract with CCS, no smokeless cigarette research projects involving outside contractors. The bank executive realizes immediately they've been defrauded. They contact the FBI. March 19, 1996. FBI sting operation. Edward Rainers is arrested. Shortly after, an arrest warrant is issued for John Ruffo. John has lawyers. He posts bail. His bail is set at $10 million. Authorities consider him a flight risk. His family puts up multiple homes as collateral to secure his release. The case builds. Federal prosecutors charge John with roughly 150 counts. Bank fraud, war fraud, money laundering, conspiracy. The evidence is overwhelming. Forged documents, false statements, money trails. In 1998, John pleads guilty. The sentencing, 17.5 years in federal prison. His report date, November 9th, 1998. John has months between sentencing and his report date. Months to prepare. November 9, 1998. The day John is supposed to report to prison. Queens, New York. He withdraws money. That same morning, he surrendered the required electronic monitoring device. He gets in his rental car, drives to John F. Kennedy International Airport. His rental car is found abandoned in long-term parking, empty. But John, gone. Officials checked available airline records and did not find his name or any confirmed flights under his real identity. 11 a.m. John fails to report to federal prison. By afternoon, the FBI is notified. The manhunt begins. John Ruffo has vanished. The US Marshals Service adds John Ruffo to their 15 most wanted fugitives list. A reward is offered for information leading to his capture. Authorities have publicly acknowledged that he had international ties and that flight abroad is possible, including regions such as the Caribbean, South America, or Europe. But these are theories, not confirmed sightings. The investigation continues. Airport footage is reviewed, financial records are analyzed, international databases are checked. No confirmed trace. When John disappeared, the homes his family put up as bill collateral were seized by authorities. His family lost their properties because John never reported to prison. The money, at least $13 million, from the fraud remains uncovered, and some public accounting suggests up to $21 million hasn't been traced. Where the unrecovered money is, if it still exists, nobody knows. December 24th, 2025, present day. John Ruffo has been missing for 27 years. He would be 71 years old now, if he's alive. The FBI case file remains open. The US Marshals continue to pursue leads. The warrant for his arrest is still active. If ever found, he'll be taken into custody to serve his sentence, plus additional charges for failing to surrender. The Marshals have said publicly they believe someone knows where he is, or knew where he was. A family member, a friend, an accomplice, someone helped him, and that person has stayed silent for 27 years. At least $13 million from the fraud remains unrecovered, and some public accounting suggests up to $21 million hasn't been traced. With that kind of money and advanced planning, creating a new identity is possible. John Ruffo disappeared in 1998, before advanced biometric systems, before ubiquitous digital surveillance, before every transaction left a permanent trail. It was one of the last moments in history when vanishing completely was still possible. Whether John Ruffo succeeded is one of the FBI's longest-running mysteries. Somewhere in the world, there might be a 71-year-old man living under a different name. Someone who remembers November 9th, 1998, who remembers walking away from everything. Or maybe John Ruffo's story ended shortly after that ATM withdrawal, and what remains is just an open case file, a name on a wanted list, and questions that may never be answered. The US Marshals say they're still looking, still hoping for the tip that breaks the case. But after 27 years, this much is certain. Whatever happened, that man who stole more than $350 million disappeared without a confirmed trace, and he's never been found.